these topics, some of these ingredients of shame, and see how God can turn them over to glory. When you read Luke chapter 13, from verse 11 to 17, Luke 13 from verse 11 to 17, the Bible talks about a woman who was bent double for 18 years. No matter how hard she tried, she couldn't lift up herself. No doctor could help her. And whenever you see her coming, you will feel the agony, the shame of being incurably sick. You find another example in John chapter 9, from verse 1 to 25. John 9, from verse 1 to 25. It tells us the story of a man who was born blind. And she was the talk of the town. The disciples were asking the Lord, who sinned that this man was born blind? Himself or his parents? It was the talk of the town. But in the two cases I have mentioned, the Lord moved. And within a very short period of time, their shame became glory. So if you are here tonight and you have a sickness, a disease, incurable, in the name that's above every other name, before the sun rises tomorrow, the problems will be gone. Let me move on. I have several examples I could give you, but let's go on. Another thing that could cause shame is failure. Failure actually means fruitless effort. You tried. You work hard. The student who fails an exam is not necessarily because he didn't read or because he was lazy. And a very good example you could find in the book of Genesis, chapter 16, from verse 1 to 5. Genesis 16, from verse 1 to 5. Sarah was barren, not because the husband didn't try, but effort after effort failed. And so Sarah thought, maybe I should help God. Offered to give to the husband out of concern for the husband. Let's try this, my handmaid. Maybe you will succeed and have a son. As soon as the housemaid became pregnant, she began to mock the mother, the master, the mistress. But God intervened, as He's going to do tonight. And the time came, just one night, in Genesis chapter 18. And read the whole chapter if you want. Good reading. Just one night. And Abraham tried again. And this time, he succeeded. I was so delighted by some of the testimonies of tonight. I was delighted with the testimony of the woman who was 50-something years old before the Lord moved, and at close to 60, the baby came. I was delighted when I saw those triplets. I saw you all standing and clapping when you saw failure, fruitless efforts terminated. When God says I should tell that fellow that we will testify, your testimony will not be ordinary. When God turns failure to success, He turns shame to glory. Another thing that can cause shame is defeat. This time you struggled. You failed because somebody blocked your way to success. In Joshua chapter 7 from verse 1 to 6, Joshua 7, 1 to 6. Thank you, Father. I think it is when this thing happens that the fellow concerned will know. And the Lord asked me to tell someone, very soon you will hear somebody telling you the table is set. That will be, come and eat, the food is already prepared. In Joshua chapter 7 from verse 1 to 6, if you consider what happened in Joshua chapter 6, when the children of Israel shouted and the wall of Jericho fell, that was a moment of glory. But by the time they followed the chapter that followed, and they went to fight a very small town, and they were seriously defeated, Joshua fell on his face. In Judges chapter 16, from verse 18 to 30, Judges 16, verse 18 to 30. After Samson was defeated, the man who was a champion became a prisoner, was asked to be grinding corn for his enemies. They even asked the champion, a champion of Jehovah, to come and dance for idols. Defeat brings shame. May God see intervened. The Bible tells us that the hair of Samson began to grow again. And even though in the process he died, the Bible still says he killed more in his death than even in his lifetime. May I decree to somebody here tonight, no matter how low things are, your end will still be better than your beginning.